most men, like 99% of men, think what she brings to the table is pretty amazing in the looks department, okay? If that's not something that's saleable,
Clearly, the
I
stock
don't know
speaks
what
for
is.
itself. But I just think the stock speaks for itself.
But
I
you
understand
can't
why American
reverse
Eagle did that.
But you can't reverse.
But I don't think conservatives need to get in and be like, rah, great, like there's this hot woman. Like it's just not an issue that we should talk about. I'm Lydia Moynihan, financial correspondent for the New York Post, and each week Post columnist and Fox Business correspondent Charles Gasparino and I cut through the noise and dive straight into the biggest stories shaping business, tech, and politics. We tackle what's moving the markets, what's happening in Silicon Valley, and what's driving decisions in DC, with no fluff and debate. So whether you're on Wall Street, Main Street, or just trying to keep up, this is where business, tech, and politics intersect. Charlie, I have been seeing your fiendish tweets on a lot of things, but the latest missive that we've gotten from you, this may be by email, is about everyone's favorite team.
Okay, so this is an exclusive that's in the paper, and it basically says this, that Trump is, as you know, he wants the Washington Redskins to go unwoke, become the Redskins again, not the Commanders. They changed to the Commanders in the middle of the social government.
What even is a commander?
I have no
like
idea, but it's not a redskin, and apparently it doesn't offend some social justice activists who say that's cultural appropriation of Native American name. So Dan Snyder, the former owner,
it would be representative. Don't they want Native Americans represented?
Well, that's what Trump says.
Yeah.
A lot of Native Americans think it's kind of a good name. It's not exactly a negative. It's not a pejorative. It's like it's bravery, fierceness. It's the Vikings, it's the Cowboys, and you got the Redskins. And no one has ever thought the Redskins was a pejorative except for the far left. Now Trump is demanding that they change it back. Now, what could Trump do? Now, what's interesting is if you get into sort of the weeds here, which I did, is that, so the deal to build a new stadium, okay, the new owners, Josh Harris, David Blitzer, they want to build this stadium, $3.7 billion, because they want to get out of the dump that the Commanders, AKA the Redskins.
The Washington team.
They actually called it that for a while, which was horrible. And so they need $1 billion of DC city money, which, you know, is decidedly woke. You know, they're not pushing it. But here's the thing. The land they're on is federal land, even though it's leased to the city for 99 years. That means Trump has some backdoor ways to pressure them. You know, it has to go through like the National Arts Commission to get approval. He's got appointees. They can throttle it there. It has to get EPA approval. Now, would Trump be adverse to pulling the levers of the administrative state to screw them over to get the name change? Of course not. So that is what Blitzer and Harris are telling people. They're actively telling people this on Wall Street, that they're afraid he's really going to turn the screws on them on this, or at least make their life incredibly miserable.
If they have that perception, that's enough to motivate them to change the name.
Now, they may not change the name.
Since they own the team, can they just make that decision unilaterally?
Yes, absolutely. And they've so far said they're not going to do it, but here's where it gets kind of interesting, because Trump is crazy. You know, they may just have to, like, kiss Trump's ass, like, in Macy's window, so to speak, like grovel to him like everybody else has, like the new owners of Paramount and Paramount have done, as CBS, you know, has, as ABC has, as all those law firms. They may literally have to grovel to him before he relents. So this is still playing out. Using that backdoor leverage is fascinating.
To me, it seems irrelevant, but maybe it's not. Maybe it's like a symbolic thing of turning the culture wars on its head and reclaiming what was lost. But does it matter? Does it matter whether it's the Redskins or the Commanders?
Yes, because this is a legendary team, a legendary name with a storied history. Trust me, my brother is a Redskin fan, so I grew up, you know, hearing him cheer on Billy Kilmer and Mark Rippon and John Riggins, and I can go down the line, Larry Brown. Great team. They had a great song called "Hail to the Redskins." Hail to the Redskins.
Okay, so there's a lot of
victory.
Tradition.
And they only changed it because of the wokesters. Because the NFL commissioner, Roger Goodell, is Mr. Uber woke, because some advertisers complained and those activists complained. The fans that watched the Redskins.
And I don't think anyone's complained. Like, I don't think that would have happened today. So I think that was a moment in time.
It all happened. And Dan Snyder, the former owner, he sold it to.
He was very conservative.
He was pretty conservative. He sold it to Blitzer and Harris for think $6 billion. A friend of mine was involved in the deal. He sold it to them because he was sick of all the BS that was thrown his way. He finally relented on the name. He didn't want to change the name for a long time. He fought back, saying it's a pride, it's Native American pride. It's not a pejorative, but he changed the name. But that was in the middle of social justice. It was in 2020, I think, that they changed it. Yeah. And initially they just called it the Washington team. Then they got some brilliant marketer to say, let's just call them the Commanders.
Yeah, that's tough branding. Like, way, who wants to wear a sweatshirt or like a jersey that says the Washington team?
What can you complain about the Commanders? Is there like some woke aspect?
I don't know. Is there like, it's commando if you don't wear underwear? Like,
that's commando.
Could nudists be offended?
That's commando, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so the commandos.
Okay, the commando. Maybe there could be like nudist people.
By the way, that's a
perfect
segue to Sydney Sweeney.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
I'm dying to talk about this because I just think this just shows you how woke has really lost its sort of power, I think. I mean, there is a real story here, besides the fact that she looks amazing in jeans, right? So she does this jean commercial. I will say it's a little soft pornish, right?
It's provocative.
It's very provocative. She's like changing a tire or so, I don't know. She's doing something with the car, right?
Yeah.
And she's in these jeans, and she says something like, I look great in jeans. I have great jeans.
I have great jeans. Yeah, there's that double entendre where it's
jeans,
Jeans.
G. So the wokesters.
I mean, this is like a long-time joke where it's like, they're not the first one to make that joke.
Yeah, but look at the wokesters, like these.
The wokesters. I like that.
They're just so weird. These sort of kind of weird people on TikTok went absolutely ballistic, saying that, well, if a blonde lady that's attractive says good jeans with a G, well, then that's Nazi.
It's like supporting the Aryan race.
Yeah, that's the Aryan race, which is so stupid. And so that's why the stock is up, because people are talking about this nonstop.
I mean, she single-handedly can make them cool. Like, people want to look like her, men want to be with her. I'm old enough to remember growing up, my family's very conservative, and anytime a Carl's Jr. commercial would come on or anything provocative, my parents would change the channel. They're like, we don't want to support this. This is just using sex to sell things.
Yeah.
Conservatives were very opposed to that.
They wanted Ben Shapiro mentioned that in his
They wanted to support good family values. Now we have conservatives, we have people in the Senate basically applauding this.
Well,
I just don't think
Donald Trump changed conservatives.
I don't think that conservatives should get involved in commenting on women's bodies. Like, I think we can sit this one out and let the woke people show that they're absolutely crazy.
All they're saying is that, I don't care which way you put it. Men look at, and by the way, there was this whole like toxic male sort of masculinity argument here involving her. Like, men will be drawn to this because they're leering at her. Let's be real clear. Most men, like 99% of men, think what she brings to the table is pretty amazing in the looks department. Okay, if that's not something that's saleable,
clearly the stock speaks for itself. But I just think the stock speaks for itself. I understand why American Eagle did that.
But you can't reverse.
But I don't think conservatives need to get in and be like, rah, great. Like, there's this hot woman. Like, it's just not an issue that we should talk about. It's kind of creepy, honestly. I find that alarming to comment on women's bodies. Are they talking
about, you can't not talk about the body if you talk about the issue. The issue is the left deeming this something, a blonde woman that uses the word jeans and various connotations, a Nazi. You can't, that is insane.
You can say this isn't Nazism, but you don't have to get into like commenting on someone's body. I just think that's creepy, and I don't think that's the lane that we want to get into.
Wait a second, are you saying it's creepy that men find her in jeans attractive and think that's not creepy?
I just don't think that's an issue that
creepy is Harvey.
Elected officials need to get into.
Listen, in my view, creepy is Harvey Weinstein. Creepy is Epstein, definitely. Saying that Sydney Sweeney is damn good looking. Listen, is it creepy that she was on Saturday Night Live flaunting her cleavage? Maybe, but the most, they're pretty woke over there, and
it's true. So one of the stories that will also be in the paper, Democrats are sort of reclaiming the crypto voter. There were a lot of people who became single-issue voters. 1 in 4 Americans has owned
They're reclaiming it, or they want to reclaim it? Because they want to reclaim it.
So I spoke to Mark Cuban, spoke to Richie Torres. I've spoken to some sort of pro-crypto Democrats. I don't know that they're going to be successful, but this is something they're very aware, because crypto billionaires donated a lot of money in the last election. There's a real fear that they could donate
they tried this in the past.
Hundreds of millions more in the midterms. some Democrats think that would be enough to swing the election. So there were a lot of Democrats who voted for the recent framework for stablecoin, the Clarity, Genius, and there is an effort on their part to say, we don't want to be the punching bag.
They tried.
We don't want to continue the Gary Gensler.
They tried this during the election. I covered it.
I think it was too late, though, because Gary Gensler was fresh in everyone's mind.
Of course, but this is the problem that they have.
They're trying to put a new foot forward.
This is the problem that they have. They have in their party, and I talked to Cuban about this as well, he's got Elizabeth Warren. He's got all these lefties that hate crypto because they want to control the economy. And crypto is something that operates outside. He will not be successful in this, just as he couldn't put the genie back in the bottle during the election. They burned too many bridges. There's no way that the people at like companies like Ripple that are nominally, moderate to left of center, but know for a fact that you can't trust the Democratic Party.
There were more than 70 people, though, who vote. I mean, you had Nancy Pelosi, you had some leaders, if you will, in the Democratic Party voting for this legislation, and they think this is a step in the right direction. And bear in mind, I don't think this is necessarily going to win over everyone in one fell swoop.
They're also for wicked.
But there are people who may be more in the center who say, okay, it seems like Democrats aren't going after this issue. They're not going to try and shut down crypto. I maybe feel more comfortable voting for that.
A few, but it's they just literally torched the Democratic Party up and down through leadership.
Voters and the cash
for years.
Crypto people poured. I know Crypto for Harris, that effort was not very
I remember successful. I covered it. It was actually hysterical.
That was then though.
By the way,
times change. I think they're trying to get ahead of the midterms.
So,
and if you can get some of these angry crypto people who funneled a lot of money in to say, you know what, maybe this is going to be fine. The Democrats aren't going to screw us. You could see a lot less money going to Republicans.
I give it low odds when you have Elizabeth Warren on the banking committee as a ranking member, not just some schmuck. By the way, Crypto for Harris worked out as well as Anthony Scaramucci's Italians for Harris. Do you remember that?
No.
I don't know one Italian except for Scaramucci that voted for Kamala Harris. Just point of fact.
Fascinating. Okay, one more story actually. This is, maybe since we didn't do winners and losers last week, I think this is going to be my loser. The Burning Man Festival. Now, this is something that has strangely attracted over the years.
Throw me a curveball now.
Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, Eric Schmidt. There's all these people in tech who were attracted to this, and one of the reasons.
That's a place where no one showers, right?
Well, so one of the reasons,
I'd never go.
It's the desert in Nevada. I have no
Okay, let's go to the desert in Nevada.
The desert in Nevada, but one of the reasons these rich people went is because they had so-called Sherpas who would go and set up camp for them.
So they didn't have to go to the bathroom in a hole, you're saying?
So they didn't have to deal with any of this. They could just swoop in. Everything was great.
And they could shower.
Went to Burning Man. They could shower. All of
They didn't get fleas and bed bugs and stuff.
We have civilization for a reason. I don't know why people are obsessed with leaving it. It's like camping.
Yeah, so
we have running water. Why would you?
You want me to say? Okay, so the last place I'd ever go was Burning Man.
This is the second year in a row where they have not sold out tickets. A lot of people think it's because the cool, rich, interesting tech people are less inclined to go because you don't have Sherpas anymore. The festival went after these Sherpas. They don't want Sherpas to have a presence there anymore because it does. If you think about it, Burning Man is sort of anarchist. Yeah. It's supposed to make everyone equal. Everyone's supposed to go in and share and have this
go to the bathroom
thing.
In the same hole.
So it kind of undermines that. Yeah, you basically have
when Jeff Bezos has his own toilet.
Coming in.
Just think about it. When Jeff Bezos has his own gold-plated toilet and everybody else has to use the hole around the corner. That's anti-egalitarian.
Well, it's ironic that the whole shtick is let's make everyone egalitarian.
And
let's create this socialistic perfect society.
And with no one showers.
And inevitably, of course, the first thing that happens is rich people are like, no, I want to have
Burning Man
things better for me.
Burning Man wants everybody to share the same fleas and bed bugs and lice and hang out in the desert is what you're saying. I do have a winner this week.
Okay.
It's going to be an unconventional winner.
Okay, let's hear it.
David Zaslav from Warner Bros. Discovery.
Okay.
Everybody likes Hollywood hates David. I've known David for years, just so you know. Everybody hates him. Hollywood hates him because, to make that deal work where you merged his Discovery with the Time Warner assets that were held by AT&T back in the day. Mm-hmm. They took a lot of debt. He had to cut stuff. He got rid of programming. Batgirl, your favorite. Aren't you disappointed he got rid of Batgirl?
Oh, yeah, remember that?
Yeah, you didn't.
That was smart. I mean, that could have been another Snow White moment.
Yeah, I know.
He was smart.
When you look back on what he did and how he kind of kept the company alive. He cut a lot of debt. He's now breaking it into two, so it could be sold more easily. Mm-hmm. And on
he's sticking with the Hollywood side too.
Yeah, and he had a good nose for a couple hits. Superman, Sinners, which is apparently a block. I got to watch it. I heard it's crazy. It's a good movie. It's like a stylistic vampire movie, which I'm gonna check out.
It's not really my genre, but
he knows the balance sheet, and the stock is up pretty significantly.
Wow.
Over the last year. It's like, again, it was almost at penny stock levels at one point, but it's now much more than that. So I'm going to make him, I'm writing about this in On the Money this week, so I'm going to make him my unconventional winner.
Sounds like he's sort of a conventional winner, too.
Well, everybody kind of dislikes him. It's easy to beat him up. He makes a lot of money, and the company is...
I feel like that's the mark of a good executive sometimes, is somebody who's willing to not mind the fact that other people dislike them.
Yeah, he doesn't care. I mean, he's
not going to let it color.
No, he's an old Jack Welch guy. I've known him since he was at NBCU. Remember, NBC used to be run by GE.
He was at CNBC.
And he did some stuff with CNBC, and he's been around, David. So he's a survivor, and now he's running a big studio, and now it's broken up, and I think the breakup is interesting because I think it makes the two parts easier to sell.
Is that what he's going to do eventually?
His dream would be to sell tomorrow to Amazon. Just trust me on this. Now, whether he can...
Isn't everyone's dream?
Yeah. I mean, like, if you're in media...
I don't know what I have to sell, but I would sell it to Amazon in a heartbeat.
If they pay, and they got the money. They got the money. But so, whether that happens or not, I can't tell you. But he would love that.
Speaking of movies and Amazon, what do you think is going to happen with the Bond movie? We still don't have any intel about who is going to play James Bond. So but I think there was a woke era where people thought it was going to be a woman, or I don't know.
A woman named James?
Someone a little uncharacteristic and
Dylan
unexpected.
Mulvaney. Imagine if Dylan Mulvaney played James Bond. That's what I want. I'd go see Dylan.
And Bud Light sponsors the movie.
Yes, I'd go to that movie. Wouldn't you go to that?
I would, actually.
That'd be so good.
I'm not a big movie theater person anymore.
Yeah, but Dylan Mulvaney.
That would be worth the price of admission.
Instead of Bond sipping martini, no, Bond's always doing the James Bond martinis.
Just like you.
It would be Dylan Mulvaney sipping a Bud Light.
Bud Light. Right. There you go. Okay.
In a bubble bath.